Hello, and welcome to The Silver Lining, the weekly geekly talk show where we discuss any number of topics that may have come up during the week. And we actually have a couple of very decent topics this week. I am your host, Uncle Silver, aka Silver Greg, aka Greg, whatever you feel like calling me. And I welcome you, my co host, to chat. It's always wonderful to have you guys here to bounce ideas off of and comments off of. But this week, man, was amazing. I mean, we got some. I hear someone subscribed to put you in. Oh yeah, I apologize. Thank you for the follow, whoever that was. I did not have my right at the beginning of the intro. You heard my alert go off. I did not have everything ready, so I didn't see who it was. But thank you for that. Absolutely. And I think while I was waiting, somebody else hit follow, so I appreciate that as well. Hopefully, you guys are still here. This week has been personal stuff first. This week has been actually pretty decent. It's been an okay week. Some bad attitudes at work like always, but nothing really horrible. Some cool stuff throughout the week, so it offsets that. Like, I'm one of those people that if a couple of bad things happen, it'll stick with me all day. I just can't help it, and I know that I should be able to help it, and I just can't. But I'm also the person that if a couple bad things happen and a couple of good things happen, I do have the ability to focus on those good things. And this was definitely a week with some pretty cool things, so I'm actually really happy about that. And hello, Aqua Sakura, Ace Fox. Good morning, even though it's 2 p.m. Yeah, I was up all night playing Tetris. Finally made it to the top 10. Yeah, I was. I feel like that game might be my new addiction. Between that, I'm playing that. I'm playing I'm still playing Stardew Valley. I just like redesigned the farm and everything, so I feel like not winding down, but I'm at a point where I'm able to make a lot of money regularly. I think what's going to end up happening is I'm going to buy the gold clock, which is 10 million. I almost keep saying bells, but 10 million gold. I'm pretty sure once I buy that, I'm not going to care about the rest of the stuff to do, because I haven't finished like catching all the fish. I'm trying to finish the selling collection, the thing where you ship at least one of everything. I am trying to do that, and I think I'm maybe 2 things away from that. Like one of them is a fruit or a fish that I can't catch yet, like that sort of thing. But yeah, I feel like that's going to wind down, which is fine. I don't mean to make it sound like the game is bad. It's definitely not. I think I have 140 hours in it, so it's definitely not a bad game. I thought you meant you had real gold. Pfft. I wish I had a 10 million in real gold. We would at least have a better computer. That was something that I did. I've been talking for a while, obviously, about how I want to build a new computer because I desperately need to build a new computer to do the streaming. For some reason, the laptop is getting worse as far as streaming goes, and I finally did. For anybody that is not super familiar with PCs, which I'm pretty much there with you, there's something called Benchmarks, which is it's a file that it's a program that you can download, and what you do is when you hit it, it runs a bunch of tests on your computer. It runs some processing tests and all, and it basically gives you a quality rating on your computer, and it tells you where your strong points and your weak points are. My computer did not get a super high rating. I'm running on a laptop, which is an MSI GE70, so it's older by computer standards, by modern computer standards. It's a 4-core CPU, but then I didn't know that CPU also handles graphics. Apparently there is a graphics processor in the laptop, but it's the kind of CPU that runs graphics. So some of that strength is going towards that. So I don't have the computing resources that I need in order to stream better. I have actually lowered the resolution on my camera, so I don't think it's too noticeable. But I lowered the resolution on my camera just so it handles a little bit better on the laptop. So we'll see what happens. If you like Stardew, you might like My Time at Portia. I heard it's basically 3D Stardew coming to Switch this spring. I'll look into it. once Animal Crossing comes out, that's it. Animal Crossing will take up my life for at least a year. I almost positively guarantee you that, especially if it's like New Life, which or New Leaf. You know what's funny? New Leaf, I think I have like 350 hours on it, and I think that's a lot, and at the same time, it's low considering that I already have 140 hours. I think it was 140 hours on Stardew. The problem is, I do see that winding down. I do see, if something else comes out that I'm able to get soon, I don't see Stardew getting up to 250 hours. I feel like I missed out with that. Yeah, well, New Leaf. New Leaf I played for a while. Every one of the Animal Crossing. The only Animal Crossing game I did not play a ton of was Wild World, and that was because the way the visuals were, it actually made me a little queasy. But it was still a great game. It made me a little queasy the way it looked. And real Animal Crossing, not like Pocket Camp and Amiibo Festival and whatever. I thought Greg was addicted to Tetris 99. I'm addicted to that too. The problem with Tetris 99 is I have to play it with an internet connection, so I can't play it at work. Which I wouldn't anyway, because I need to at work. I need to play games that I can put down, because the customers. I know it sounds hokey and cheesy, but the reality is, when you're at work, and especially in a customer service job, your customers come first. That is the reality. Don't ever tell a customer to hold on because you're finishing reading a line in a book, or you're finishing playing a game or something like that. Technically, they say we're not supposed to play games at work, but 000 times ever have I ever told a customer to wait while I do something, even for a second. So I've never gotten in trouble for it. You know, I've been at jobs where other employees have done that. Like, oh, hang on 1 second, let me finish this up. No. You don't hang on 1 second. The customer is who is being taken care of. Now, don't get it wrong. The all that customer is always right BS is exactly that. It's BS. The customer is often the one that is the wrongest. But when it comes to the beginning of a interaction with a customer, they are the most important thing. They are the thing to focus on the most. And trust me, I know it sounds weird. It sounds like a weird experience, but take that with you into your jobs, into your careers, and you will find great success. If you're a jerk and you make a mistake, people will call you on it. They'll hassle you on it. They'll get you in trouble for it. If you are a genuinely nice person, you look out for the customers and their well-being, and you make a mistake, most of the time they'll say, "Oh, well, you're a nice person. You made a mistake," and we all make mistakes. There's your life lesson for the first of hopefully many life lessons that I can offer you all. Also, Greg, I saw that. Elliot did get first place. When we were streaming the other day, we had multiple second places. Some pretty intense stuff too. I need to dope this block. Oh yeah, don't worry. The train isn't going anywhere. Yeah. Don't. Yeah. Oh, I need to drop this block. I don't know. I need to dope this block. Sounds pretty cool. Works at convenience. They seem like they're. Yeah. No. If you don't want to be at your job, find another job. It's not that easy. It's not easy. I say that, and at the same time, I tell you that no, it's definitely not that easy. But if you start even just really looking for another job, you'll actually find that your whole situation gets better. When I worked at a video game store for 6 years, I worked at a video game store up until I left there to be at this job, and towards the end, it got really, really frustrating and aggravating. When I got this job, and when I was waiting for this job, and then when they called me to let me know that it was available and they wanted me to come in and everything, my video game store job got way better. My whole mindset was way better. There was a lot of pressure taken off of me. It It felt more like I was there because I chose to be there instead of being forced to be there, because that's always going to be the worst thing when you work, is the sense of I have to be here. There's nothing worse than that feeling. When you feel like you have the option to be there or not be there, things get a lot easier to handle. What was that? Destiny PvP? Oh. I asked only one customer to hold on a second once. I was watching football. Near the end of the game, I apologize. He understood. Oh, he understood he worked with you before. Okay. I hate tending to customers, but I still try to satisfy customers on the first try. Yeah, it's as hokey as it sounds. Treat them how you want to be treated. You don't want to go into a store and have the person, hold on a second, doing something else, and then you're trying to talk to them, and they're, all right, hi. Like, you don't want that. So why would you, why would you do that to somebody else? And B, if you want them to do it, you have to prove that there are people that can do it, and that's you. But yeah, that's how it is at work. I can't play anything very, very intense. Like, I used to play, when I had a strong enough internet connection, I used to play Warcraft at work, World of Warcraft, and I was always dying. Constantly dying, because I'd play and then somebody would come up and it would immediately be, I'd go right to them no matter what I was doing. So enemies would kill me. I would fall off of cliffs and stuff. I just dropped it. I didn't really care. I just ran back to my body. Highest rank in Tetris is 10th place. But yeah, so I mean, so that was my week. My week's been actually pretty decent. The weather it's actually kind of warm here today. It sounds super windy outside. But it was actually a pretty decent week with some fun games to play, which we are going to talk about. Because, hang on a second here. Because, of course, I did not have this ready to go. Open with photos? No. Wrong one. Hang on a second. Open with photo gallery. All right. Cream the Rabbit, what's going on? And hello to everybody who I might not have said hello to. De Niro, I'm not sure if I said. Rocky Bear. Cream the Rabbit just got here. That Nintendo Direct was unprepared uncle is best uncle. Yeah, I had everything ready. 5 minutes before the stream, I was actually ready to start, and I realized I didn't have that open yet. Nintendo Direct. What a sagging in the middle Direct that was. But the high points were definitely high. I didn't realize there were, as far as I put a list, I made a list of everything that they announced. 25 games were announced that we either knew of or didn't know of or knew of and hadn't seen anything. Hey, Tomcat. Astro Chain. Astral. ASTRAL Chain. But yeah, it looks kind of cool. 25 games plus DLC, the version 3.0 Smash Brothers. I don't really count that as an extra one. It's 20. Yeah, and the Cat and Toad stuff. So I'll tell you what. Why don't we go through these 25 games? I wrote them all down here. Why don't we go through the 25 or so, or 26 things that are on here? I will probably not really talk about much of a lot of them, just because some of them I just don't really care about. I don't really think that there's a lot to discuss. Like I said, it sagged hard in the middle. It was bookended with some pretty nice announcements. Ultimately, it was just kind of blah. and that Nintendo Direct was a letdown. I wouldn't say. See, here's the thing, Tomcat. I don't say that it's a letdown because it's only a letdown if you get your hopes up. You can't have the down without the up. So yeah, I generally don't get my hopes up. That's the thing. I don't. Obviously, we were not expecting any Metroid news because of what happened. We would have liked to have heard Metroid Prime Trilogy. Didn't happen. I'm still okay with it. It's all right. At this point, I have learned to accept that there are some things that I like that won't happen or might not happen. So I'm not getting to the point where that should. Mario Maker, for instance. Mario Maker 2 was the first game that was up. Whether they ported Mario Maker from the Wii U or made a whole new game, that was going to happen. That was one of their most popular games in the system. People have been clamoring for it for a while. It works perfectly on the Switch. That is something that was going to happen. Metroid Prime Trilogy is not something that's going to happen. So I don't get my hopes up about that. If it does, fantastic. If not, oh well. That's kind of what I was expecting. But to get into the first, I'm curious what Zelda fans think about Link's Awakening. Rocky Bear, we'll get to that one. We're gonna go through all of these games. This is in the order that they were shown in the Direct. So the first one was Mario Maker 2. Fantastic. I never actually played the first one. I never bought it on the Wii U. I don't know. I just, for some reason, it just never attracted my attention. And it looks great. I can't wait to play this one. But yeah, for some reason, I just never got it. I think the money was just never there for me to spend on that game. And by then, the Wii U was my Netflix player. Sorry, drinking my soda right into the microphone. Delicious.
Ooh, you suck.
Next was Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3. Awesome. Cool. Yay. All right, I never played any of the other ones. I still can't find the soda. It's in the soda aisle. Mario Maker 2 is looking to be better than the first one, but I never played the first game, and I'm personally not interested enough in buying it. But one of my friends is sure looking for. Yeah, I mean it still is Mario Maker, and it's still, it still looks kind of cool. But I still don't know if I'm gonna pay $60 for it. After that was Boxy Boy. I don't know why I always say Boxy Boy. I mean, it looks fine. I never played it, but it doesn't look like a terrible game. It looks kind of cute. 270 levels, which is supposed to be really nice, but at the same time, how we are. 270 levels is like 2 days worth of gameplay. And of course, my phone's gonna keep closing on me. Then we got the Smash Brothers 3.0 update. I mean, nothing to report. Box Boy looks nice for what it is, but it's another game that I'm just not interested in. And that's the thing, Aqua. That is the running theme for this Direct. It's just not something I'm interested in. It's not something I have been interested in. My buddy has unbridled enthusiasm for Ultimate Alliance 3, so now he has to buy a Switch now. You know what, De Niro? I'm hearing people say that about this Tetris 99, which we'll talk about. But I'm hearing people say that they are considering buying a Switch because of that alone, on top of everything else, looks amazing. Still haven't got Ultimate and Smash Brothers. And my interest isn't there for, honestly, which makes me... Yeah, it's Tomcat, it's always a little sad when you're not interested in the popular series that A, a lot of other people are interested in, and B, you might have been interested in before. You get that sensation that I'm my tastes are changing, and it's very weird. It's a little sad. Like if there's a popular movie franchise, like people were clamoring for the Marvel movies. I didn't see the last few in the theaters, and it's not to say that they were bad, but I was just they just weren't a priority anymore. At least we have Joker's model. Yeah, we saw Joker's model, which, I mean, it looks like Joker, so it doesn't really look all that. I don't feel like that was news. Not much Smash news, which does not bother. Oh, Aqua, I'm excited that there was not a lot of Smash news. Smash news always dominates the Direct. You show all of this other stuff, and at the end, you say, coming to Smash Brothers, and you show a guy in blue jeans, and the threads are all over the place about whether or not it's Hank Hill coming to Smash. Like, there was 30 other minutes of Direct. It's Joker's amiibo, not model. No, the image that they showed wasn't. They didn't show an image of the amiibo. It was the CG character model, but it didn't move. Yeah, they showed a CG image of the character model. It's fair to say Marvel movies are oversaturated. I haven't watched one in the theater. Yeah, I don't remember Civil War. Civil War was the last one I saw in the theaters. De Niro, it's gonna be. You never see it coming. You never see it coming. And I would hope River in a dry land, or River in a desert. It looked like what the that's what the amiibo was going to look like, but I think it was just a computer model. Bloodstained. They talked about Bloodstained. They showed some of that. I can understand that. It was good that Smash did not have a huge showing. Yeah. They talked about Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, which I am of course interested in, but I am reserving my excitement. Just because I've been hurt before being excited for games like this coming out. So I am reserving my excitement, but it does look good. I do like to see more of it moving more smoothly. Bloodstained is where I joined in. I'm actually a backer. Oh, very nice. So you'll get a demo before everybody else, assuming they do make a demo for it. 'Cause I thought they had a demo for it, actually. I thought the backers already had a demo. But like one of those where they make a demo and then they're going to change stuff after the demo based on feedback. At the same time, One Winged Angel wasn't included with Cloud. Well, One Winged Angel isn't Cloud's song. That's Sephiroth's song. Now, if you make Sephiroth playable and One Winged Angel isn't in the game, I'll be confused. Johnny came being, I've not played any Castlevania Metroidvania games. It's not something I'm thinking of getting at this time. I mean, it's a shame that you haven't played any Castlevania Metroidvania style games, because they are, even if there is they're over popularized, that's for a good reason. So I would definitely recommend getting into one of those. Character customization, didn't expect that. I think it's been almost 4 years since Mighty Number 9. CT, that's a shame that you went right there. And that's the one that I think of the most when I think of being burned before a game comes out. But Indivisible is a game that's coming out, and I'm super excited about. And I have played the demo for that when the demo came out, 2 years ago? And I'm still reserving my excitement for it. Dragon Quest Builders 2 was announced, was shown. All right. I mean, I liked Dragon Quest Builders 1. I played tons of it on the Switch. I might get 2. I really just don't know. I mean, it really all depends on when it comes out. And again, that is a building creation simulator. If Animal Crossing is already out, that's already going to fill that slot for me. Indivisible is something I'm looking forward to. I backed that game in a while. I went to back that game. By the time I found out about it, it was gone. I think the backing for it was over. Isn't Dragon Quest Goku RPG? DC Dungeon Master resubscribing 11 months. Woo! Thank you so much for the subscription. I love the fact that you are not only subscribed but here for so long. One more month and you get a fancy new new subscriber badge next to your name. So I would hope to see you with that subscriber badge next month. Even if I don't, I just appreciate seeing your name in the chat and hanging out, having a conversation with us. Let's see here. The Dragon Quest Builders 2, Dragon Quest 11. All right. looks good. I haven't played a Dragon Quest game since Dragon Warrior, and I played a bunch. I played 4 on the DS, and I like it, but DS, I'm just kind of, the Switch has me spoiled. So I would love for them to bring a Dragon Quest compilation to the US. I absolutely would be interested in that. Sorry, I missed the beginning. Sean, what's going on? We're going through the games that were announced in the Direct as they were announced. Ted is really hyped for it, even though he owns a copy already. Yeah, I want to play it. I mean, I've been wanting to play one for a while. I wanted to play 7, which I didn't realize I don't have on the PlayStation 1. I have 8, but I don't feel like breaking out the PS2. I'm just lazy. And then what? I don't think 9 and 10 were 9 and 10 released over here. Dragon Quest compilation. Give me a compilation of Dragon Quest 1 through 6. I think that's fine. I mean, how many copies of Sonic 1 does Johnny own? With that, to be fair, Ted is hyped for almost all things DQ. Yeah, I imagine the first time Ted drove past the Dairy Queen, he went berserk, and then he realized that it was just ice cream. Winner of this Direct was Ted because he got orchestral music for Dragon Quest 11. 9 was, 10 wasn't. Okay. Sum. Yeah. Sum. The Disney game with the little bean shaped Disney characters. If you've ever seen the little plushies, they're like this big, and then they make bigger ones, but they're like this big that you can collect. They are adorable. That being said, I mean, I'm not the target audience. A 40-year-old guy is probably not the target audience for that game. If I get the chance, I would still play it and give it a try. I'm always open to try anything, but I feel like that would not really interest me for very long. Based on cute plushies. One part of it looks like it should be a mobile game, a good-looking casual game, but not interested personally. Yeah, see, that's the thing. And that's the thing. I'm not interested in it. The thing that needs to be understood, it's a lot like the Wii in that, first of all, this is not shovelware. There's a lot. Shovelware for now is on Nintendo eShop and Steam and all of that. That's where a lot of the shovelware goes because it takes extra money to put out physical copies of games. So I feel like a lot of the really horrible shovelware crap is going to stay digital, which works fine by me. So the fact that Disney is putting physical copies of this game out, most likely, it speaks to the quality of it. I mean, I know it's Disney, but they could still just release digital games. So it at least speaks to the quality, and there's nothing to say that it won't be fun. I mean, how many boring looking games have we played where they're actually some of the greatest games? Wii Sports was effectively a tech demo, and it was the most popular game on the Wii. One of the best games on the Wii. DQ is the reason that Japan releases almost all major titles on the weekend. No, that's okay, Lizard. That's not a myth, but for a while, Dragon Quest games specifically were released on Fridays because of the whole weekend thing. That did happen. That was from a long time ago, but it has sort of bled down throughout the years where even when other games were released on Tuesdays, Dragon Quest games for a while were released on Fridays because of that. But no, there is accuracy to that. Some accuracy. It was not like the country was collapsing because the game released on a Tuesday or anything. But it was a simple problem with an easy fix. Yeah, my understanding was that, no, there was some accuracy to that. Plus, it's not necessarily the same anymore because, especially with the Switch, it's portable. So that's primarily you have to stay at home and play the game. We're talking about the first half of the direct. Yeah, we're not really far into it actually. We're like a third of the way through the games that came out. Although we're backloaded with some very heavy stuff to talk about. So there's some Starlink. So there's a Starlink update. And can I just say, I feel super bad for the people responsible for writing Starlink games, the original Starlink stories, not the Star Fox stuff, because at this point, it's basically just Star Fox. There's what they're making out to be a full game's worth of content based on Star Fox coming to this game. That pretty much just annihilates anything in that game that's not Star Fox related. Nobody gives a crap about any of it. They didn't even try, and it doesn't even seem like they're integrating the original Starlink characters into this Star Fox aspect of it. Like, they're not integrating them. The Starlink characters aren't new characters into the Star Fox world or anything. It basically has just dominated Starlink. And I feel bad for the people that wrote this stuff and were like, these characters are cool and this is going to be great. And then Star Fox jumps in, and now I went to Best Buy, and there were tons of the Starlink ships, except for the R-Wing. The R-Wings were all gone. I'm not playing Starlink, but I heard the game did not so much. Not that it did terrible, it just didn't sell well. Well, the whole the toy aspect of it is very. Once you throw something like that into it, after Skylanders and Amiibo, and not even Amiibo really, but Skylanders. What's the Disney? I forget what the Disney one is. Once you throw that toy aspect into it, it automatically gets jammed into Disney Infinity. It automatically gets jammed into like a niche market, and so that's a shame. It sucks that happened to them. I don't want to enter, and you staring at me before I even hit the back button. Hey, Chips CST. Chips, your name is very distracting to me because I've been looking up computer stuff and I keep seeing the brand name NZXT. So now whenever I see your name, I almost call you Chip NZXT. Yeah, it was Infinity though. Thank you, Rocky Bear. But yeah, I just feel bad for the starting people. Rune Factory 5, Rune Factory 4 is like I guess it's a rehash of 4 that's coming to the Switch now. They did announce that 5 is coming out. Another series that I've just never been very much into. I don't remember if that's the one, if that was the randomly generated dungeon crawler. Yeah, I don't remember if that's the one or not. I mean, it looks pretty cool. I remember playing a game, and it might have been Atrian Odyssey, where you go into the dungeon and they're randomly generated, and the map is drawn as you go. And I could have sworn it was Rune Factory. I just remember thinking it was all right, but nothing jumped out at me that was spectacular. Can't wait for 4S. I love that game. So 5 makes me super happy. Rune Factory 5 was my highlight, and 4. Okay, so that's awesome. And Aqua, then you would. I would hope that you noticed that they said we can finally announce that Rune Factory 5 is coming, which makes me feel like this has been in development for a while and they just haven't been able to talk about it. So it should be well along on the development. It's Atrian Odyssey. Okay, Atrian Odyssey is what I played. Okay. So there was this Square Enix, Squeenix as I call them. Never played a Rune Factory. Are they any good? Yeah, I don't know. I never played one. Oninaki, which was like Lost Souls Become Monsters. And they kept saying that. Lost Souls Become Monsters. No joke, because it was one of the first text lines that came up. I thought the game was called Lost Souls Become Monsters. It looks fine. It looks like a decent game. Squeenix. You're right about that. It's just the game seems to have died when the developers went bankrupt or something. 5 was in development hell due to ownership rights. So that's, I mean, as long as that's accurate, the game should be well along in development. So it shouldn't be a dramatically long wait for it. Is Fantasy Harvest Moon. I kind of like the sound of that though. Oninaki, yeah, it looked pretty interesting. I feel like that's a game that could fly under the radar and be better than everybody was expecting. Excuse me. There wasn't really much to say on it. I mean, it had a cool visual style and everything. I think that was the one that was very Xenosaga like. I think it was that game. It looked pretty good though. How about that PS2 game they demoed? Which one? Final Fantasy 9? I mean, I know that was one, so take it easy. Then was the Yoshi's Crafted World, which I really didn't pay a whole lot of attention to. I did love Woolly World, so I am interested in Crafted World. I have downloaded the demo, but I did not play it yet. I finally got a memory card. It's super funny. Much respect to you. Thank you, V-Man. Absolutely appreciate it. And I love being on SGB, and I love making jokes on SGB, because if I'm making jokes on SGB, it means I'm there. Yeah, Yoshi's Crafted. It looks good. I love the I guess not photorealistic, but the Crafted World art style. It's one of the reasons I love Paper Mario. Unravel, which is also on this list. I never played Unravel, but I love the idea. The Kirby Epic Yarn. I didn't play. Which one's the clay one? Rainbow Curse or something? The one that was on the Wii U. I never got to play it, but it looks fantastic. But I love that. I love that aesthetic. I still think Color Splash was graphically one of my favorite games to date. I think that the Color Splash's exact graphic style used to remake Paper Mario 64 and 1000 Year Door, I'd sell an organ to get one of those. And if not an organ, then just a regular size piano. Woo! Canvas Curse. Thank you very much. When I was there for the Kingdom Hearts 2. Oh, yeah. You know what's funny, CT? I was there for the Kingdom Hearts 2 final mix. I was actually there for something else, and they were recording it. So they're like, here, put on a headset and let's talk. Yeah, Rainbow Curry. I don't know. A spleen? Yeah, I guess I don't need one of those. Yeah, Color Splash graphics engine in old games. And then came the Fire Emblem block, which we were expecting a lot of talk about this, because they actually said that they were heavily going to talk about a Fire Emblem Three Houses. It looks great. It looks fantastic. I've only ever played one or two Fire Emblem games. I only ever played through Awakening completely, and I've tried a couple of the older ones. I got lucky and just picked up Radiant Dawn for extremely cheap, so I will definitely try that game out. I just don't have a lot to say about it. Truth be told, the style of game is right up my alley, and at the same time, I never had a lot of exposure to it, so I don't have a lot to say about it. I think it's one game. And you guys can help me out with that. I think it's just one game. It's not going to be like 2 or 3 games that you have to buy. But I did see some pictures of some kind of collector's edition. Obviously, a collector's edition. Since I'm only a moderate fan of the series, so a collector's edition probably isn't going to work for me anyway. But I don't know what I would even buy. Like, I know that what was the other one? Birthright, Conquest, and Fates. Is that what it is? That was 3 separate games. Once you tell me it's 3 separate games, I don't care. I immediately stopped caring. Because that was the one after Awakening. And I liked Awakening. I thought Awakening was good. So I actually considered getting the other one. And then they said, oh, well, no, it's 2 separate games. And then there's a 3rd game later. Like, okay, never mind. Disney Tsum Tsum. Yeah, we already talked about Tsum Tsum. We keep getting all this Fire Emblem stuff. We'll be getting a new Final Fantasy Tactics game. Sean, how about a Tactics game with Octopath Traveler graphics? Basic Collector's Edition art book, music, steel case, which at this point I don't have any room for, so I don't really care anymore. I have until July 26th to complete both Fates and Echoes or Ecchies. I don't know. Aqua, a Fire Emblem Ecchi game sounds pretty interesting. It sounds definitely very sexy and risque. So yeah, I mean that was Fire Emblem. Now, what came after Fire Emblem? Tetris 99. Or is it really should have been called Tetris Battle Royale? I don't know where this game came from. If somebody would have told you 2 seconds before that started, if somebody would have told you maybe there's a Tetris Battle Royale game coming out, you would have laughed in their faces. But they did it. They made a Tetris Battle Royale game, and it was available right after the Direct on the eShop. It's free, so if you have a Switch, go download it because it's free. It is amazingly addictive. It is 99 players, including yourself. So 99 total, 98 opponents. And you play Tetris. It's got a few extra rules for anybody. If you're an older school Tetris player, there are a few extra things that you might not be familiar with, which I was not familiar very much with, holding the pieces and then saving them for later. It's like Puyo Puyo Tetris, except you're battling 98 other people and you're not playing Puyo Puyo. The only issue is there are a few light issues with the game, but I actually like them. The music gets it. As far as I can tell, it's only one song, and the music gets frantic. Well, it's like one song, and then when the music hypes up at 50 players, 50 players, 10 players, and then I think I think it's 50 players and 10 players. I actually think that's it. It gets really hype and frantic. Visually, there's a lot going on the screen. All of that stuff is very distracting, but I like that you can't turn it off because it forces everybody else to go through the same problem. So when you sit there and you're complaining that, oh my God, the visuals and the noise and the music is speeding up and it's causing me anxiety, everybody's dealing with that. So I like that. I get a kick out of that, and it's nice. It's a great game too. So it's not like you're enduring all of this to play a mediocre game. But after watching Ted play, I like to give it. Oh, Aqua, we streamed it after, and it was, my God, it's awesome. People can be jerks in the battle royale, but they're not doing that. They don't see where everybody else is teaming up. It really is just the luck of the draw. It lacks Sean, absolutely, it lacks the Type B music. Actually, what I liked was the Type A, the third song. I love that. That's my favorite Tetris song. I think it was the regular game, the second music, or was that Type B? I thought Type B was the game mode. However, at the moment I have no memory on the Switch and cannot download the game. Plus, I was thinking that the game was already out. No, yeah, it was available then. Yeah, that's the Type B music. Yeah, that's the song that I like. Yeah, Aqua, I just today on the way home from work bought a memory card. So now I have Yoshi's Crafted World demo on there. I finally updated Fortnite on the Switch, even though I haven't played it on the Switch in forever. I paid $30 for a 128 gig memory card, which I hated to take out of the computer money, but I really kind of desperately needed. Dead by Daylight was the next game. It's a horror survival game. You get to play the murderer, or you get to play one of the people. I don't know. If you make a game like that and it's Maniac Mansion, give me a call. But I don't know. It looks like the Friday the 13th game that came out. Like, it doesn't interest me. Deltarune. I am very excited for Deltarune because I have been intending to play it. I have it on my computer and I've been intending to play it. So I'm very, very excited. See, I might have to pay that much too soon for a memory card. Yeah, Aqua, I mean, it's a 128 gig memory card. It's going to last you for a while. If you're like me, it's going to last you for a while anyway. Yeah, so I'm excited that I can finally play Deltarune. It's been sitting on my computer and now I can remove it. You already downloaded it? Yeah, what was it, the 26th? Not next week. The week after, the Tuesday after, it'll be available. Less than 13 days of Deltarune, Chapter 1. Other chapters will cost money. They're not free. Yeah, because Deltarune is free, right? Isn't it a free download, but then you're going to have to pay for the other chapters, which I'm totally okay with. I didn't play Undertale, and Deltarune doesn't interest me either. De Niro, Undertale is a great experience to me if you play the pacifist run. It's very interesting. It's very delightful with a lot of humor. I've watched videos of the other playthroughs. I watched Johnny's review of it. It's much less interesting that way to me. Go back. If you get a chance, play it. And do the pacifist run, and I think you'll be pretty happy with it. There's still some nice challenges in there. It's probably about 15 hours of gameplay, if even that. If you're better at, I did a lot of exploring for what I could explore. Give it a shot. I would definitely recommend it. You'll get around to playing Deltarune in a few more years. Yeah, wait until all of it's out. 28 TG. 28th. 28th. Okay. Play the genocide run and hate yourself and the game and everything else in life. Yeah, see, I have no interest in the genocide run. We got Daemon X Machina. Daemon X Machina came out. A demo. They released a demo for it. They released a reviewable demo, I guess you would say. I don't know if that's. I don't know what the proper term would be. They announced the demo. And the demo came out after the direct, and they blatantly said that that this is a work in progress, and what they want is feedback. I have played the demo. I think I'm done. I think somebody said there's 4 full missions plus a training mission. I've done 3 missions, so I should be near the end of it. It's great. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Probably not that much. But there were a lot of things that I didn't like that I don't think they're going to change. Wanted to get what happened, but if I had a memory card, I'd give the demo a try. Yeah, it's effectively a beta. So I think they said they're gonna have a way to get in touch with them as far as feedback goes. The game does need some work. I don't know if I would say polish, but certain things need to be changed. It doesn't feel like there's a sense of speed. Visually, it's very, it's a little too busy, so it makes things harder to see. That might just be me personally, but there is kind of a lot going on, and it's to the point where I would have trouble spotting things. I would have trouble noticing the sensors. Noticing how the targeting works and stuff, and it's not very. I don't think the game did a great job of teaching you how to do certain things during the training exercise, because there's a training mission first. Nothing did I play in the demo that makes the game look unredeemable, though. It looks fantastic for what it is. It moved well. It was not like laggy or anything. That's why the game was not broken. I just think certain things need to be altered. But what I see are the bones for a fantastic game and a new mech series. I think they need to make descending work better. Once you get high up, it's hard to come back down quickly. Their boost mechanic, that's one thing that I didn't like Dragon Knight, now that you reminded me. The way the boost mechanic works is that you hit the button and you jump, you boost up. It's a jump. So you'll go up and then you'll come back down, and you won't come back down very fast. You'll come back down very slow, to the point where I was having trouble realizing, especially when I boosted higher, if you hold the button, you'll jump higher, but then you'll still come back down. I was having trouble realizing that I was coming back down. While you're in the air, if you hit the button again, you will then stay and you'll start flying. I couldn't tell. Here's the biggest problems that I was having. I still can't tell if there's some sort of fuel. Because if there's not fuel, I'm not entirely sure why you wouldn't just fly the entire time. If there's a fuel meter, I wasn't seeing it. When I was shooting, I was picking up ammo every once in a while. But the game is graphically it's so busy, I couldn't tell. Was I running out of ammo? I never was not shooting. When I was hitting the button, I was always shooting. So I never got to a point where I thought I ran out of ammo. So I don't understand. Maybe, and again, it's very busy. So I don't know if it was something I was missing or if it's just something that is just not in the game yet. I really don't know. But I was able to pick up ammo even though I feel like I was always shooting. It needs polish. I guess polish is the right word, but it needs fixing. You can fly forever, but if you boost too long, you instantly start falling down. Okay, yeah, so that's what it is. Because, yes, I would boost, and it would slowly descend. It wouldn't go up as fast. And then if you're flying, in order to descend, I do have my controller here. It's B to boost, and then to hit again to fly. You have to push in the stick to lower back down. I thought that was weird. I felt like that was weird to me. I would have been happier with the two triggers shoot and the two shoulder buttons, I think, do thing. I know one of them was like your missile lock on. I think I would have been happier with one shoot button and one missile lock on. I think that would have worked better for me. Or honestly, make the missiles a weapon that you can detach and use with the trigger. I don't like 3 and 4 attack buttons. And again, a lot of that stuff is just personal preference. A lot of that stuff can probably be changed in the controller options. Ground movement was extremely stiff. Ground movement was, I found myself defaulting to fly just because the ground movement was stiff. I did upgrade my character, and there is a way to upgrade your speed. So I wonder if it feels slow only because it's the beginning of the game. So hopefully that's what's going to happen with that. They're going to fix it. I mean, we'll see what happens. Yeah, they seem to be welcoming feedback, so if you get a survey response. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I plan on doing that. I want to put my thoughts together and then do like a big post or something. What else? Grid Autosports, which is a realistic racing game. Okay, that's great. I think that Nintendo has been missing a realistic racing. I don't think no one comes close to Gran Turismo, or no one used to be able to come close to Gran Turismo. Yes, Forza was very popular, but it was not the same. Forza was a racing game. Gran Turismo was driving simulation. It was racing simulation, and nothing has ever come close to that. I don't think Grid is going to do that. So it's Daytona. No. Daytona USA was not a realistic racing game at all. Daytona USA was wildly unrealistic. No, this is more of a realistic racing style game. In all honesty, yeah, it looked more like Forza than anything else. I like Forza more than track-only racers. Yeah, I think that the Switch has grown in popularity to the point where it is time to make sure that there is something for everybody. the Nintendo market was never one that clamored for a realistic racing. This market is the Switch market is growing every day. It definitely needs a little bit of everything. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind seeing Auto Modelista 2. I wouldn't mind seeing that. That was a cel-shaded racing game that was very, very good. I would like to see another one of those. Hellblade, I think Hellblade is a game that's been out before. This was the first I've ever heard of it. It looks kind of blah. Don't know if I played Grid 2 or Auto Sport, but regardless, I found it disappointing compared to Grid 1. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Hellblade. Okay. Hellblade sounds like an edgelord name from a Warcraft game. Like, oh, this is my I say that because I had a dwarf what the hell is it? The undead guys named Steelblood. so I know a little something about edgy names. Not undead. Oh, what the hell was his name? What the hell were they called? In Warcraft, the Lich King's people. I forget. Looks like a generic psychological horror game. Yeah, it just kind of looked blah. Apparently, it was very popular. I think it won awards or something. I don't know. It didn't really look that like my style. Unravel 2, which looks very nice. I think that's EA, so I can't wait to unravel some loot boxes. Assassin's Creed 3. I've never been an Assassin's Creed fan. You guys know my stance on stealth-based games. I typically just don't like them. So Assassin's Creed, it looks kind of cool, but I don't know. Black Flag looked okay, but not enough for me to actually go out there and get into the game. Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 7, we got a release date, which was, I think that was March 26th. Okay, I'm waiting to see. What I'm hearing is that Final Fantasy 9 was the next thing that was announced, which is actually on the eShop now for $20.99. $20.99. I already think the $20 is probably a bit much for that game, considering it's just a port, and apparently it's a port of the Steam version. But way to nickel and dime everybody on an extra $1 by making it $20.99. What kind of nonsense is that? I mean, it's 99 cents, not nonsense. But it's also the Steam version. It is a port of the Steam version, which apparently was kind of buggy. There were some bugs in it. It does also include the cheats. I saw somebody on Twitter say that there were cheats that are built into the game. I have the Final Fantasy 7 from there, and I love the stuff that's in there. It's like XP gain and all of that. I love those things. Look, it's Final Fantasy 7. For those of us that have been playing it since it came out, we've beaten it 100 times regularly. I am allowed to use cheats. At this point of the game, I can use whatever damn cheats I want, and I'm probably going to. Speaking of Assassin's Creed, didn't the frame it for the gameplay trailer look kind of... I would have to watch it again. Truth be told, I saw Assassin's Creed, and I just kind of tuned out. I think I started looking at my phone. Ezio Trilogy was the good old days. Yeah, I just... yeah. Oh, yeah, Chocobo Mystery Dungeon was also announced. That was pretty exciting, actually. I did... For some reason, I didn't write it down here. But yeah, I was kind of like... Chocobo Mystery Dungeon.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.
Mr. Soul Reap, thank you so much for the follow. I want to play Hellblade. I heard bad and good stuff about it. I want to know for myself. See, and Diego, I want to play all of these games, but I'm not going to pay for them. That's why. I'll give Hellblade a try. I'm not going to pay for it. No 3DS info. CT, we'll I wanted to bring that up a little bit later. So yeah, beating 7 3 to 4 times. I want to see what happens if I try and break. Yeah, here's the cheat that I always use, Dragoon, to balance myself out. the only cheat that I always used was high AP gain. So I would fight, and then I'd get thousands of AP and master my materia relatively quickly. That was one that I always did. I don't bother with the XP gain. I don't bother with all of that stuff, like invincibility or anything. I like the materia. I just get my materia and get them fast. Chocobo Mystery Dungeon is a game I'm not thinking of getting, but it looks nice for what it is. We got the last two were Astral Chain, which I keep almost saying Astro Train. It looks good. It looks like mech stands. I mean, it looks like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but they're mechs, and instead of free floating, they're chained to them. So I mean, it's right there in the title, so it actually works out very well. Should have been Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. That actually, CT, is not a bad idea. It looks good. I don't really know what there is to say. I liked the voice acting in it. I thought that the storytelling, for what little there was very interesting. It was compelling. I put it this way. I want to know more. Astral China. Astral China. Now wait, is that because you're tethered to the country or your fancy plates? A bit of a Xenoblade vibe. I'd have to see more before I decide if I want to get it. Yeah, I don't know that right now I would say probably not, but it looks really cool. But I am going to keep my eye on it because there may end up being something that I really, really want to see. At least we know what Platinum was working on this whole time. Oh, excuse me. I'm playing with the Auto Ability Master. I'll still level up, but having seen people's thoughts on 9, I decided I could afford to not grind level. Yeah, there was a little. I did find myself grinding a little bit. I still want to get it. I don't. I think $20.99 is expensive for how old is the game? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's, in all honesty, it's probably just because I'm trying to save money, so it looks horrible to me. I feel like even if it was $20, that one little dollar is just obnoxious to me. I feel like if it was $20, I would be better off. I feel like if it was $15, I would have bought it already. 19 years old. Yeah, $20.99 triggers every game. Yeah, it bothers the hell out of me. Like, why would you just nickel it? Just $19.99. It's what we're used to. Although, you know what? Chip NZXT, which is what I'm going to call you from now on, because I almost keep calling you that anyway. Although I should probably just call you Chip. There are a few games on there, on the eShop and the even on the Wii U eShop, where they were like exactly $5. Exactly $10. Not $9.99, 10.00. And even that to me was, I prefer it, and at the same time I'm not used to it. So it would take me by surprise when I'd see it. It was probably like it was the first time you went into Walmart and everything was something 97. I will not buy Link's Awakening if it's 40 or more. It's a $30 game no matter how cute it is. Square Enix charges 20 or more, sadly. Yeah. But yeah, I think Astro Train, I'm going to just call it Astro Train. I think it looks good. I think it looks like something, like I said, like something that I want to pay attention to and see where it goes. See how elaborate it all gets. Then came the big final reveal. Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening to me is right up there with the Tetris 99. Not 2 seconds before that thing started, could anybody have predicted that it was coming? No way whatsoever. There isn't a single person out there that can genuinely tell me, I think they're going to do Link's Awakening. No, you did not. You didn't. You thought they were going to do a Skyward Sword update. You thought they were going to bring the HD Wind Waker and Twilight Princess and all of that stuff to the Switch. You thought all of those things. At no point did you think Link's Awakening was coming. That new animation for Link's Awakening was great. I'm not sure about the graphics. I recognized it when I saw the animation. When I saw that it was on the boat with the raft and he was pulling the rope, I knew exactly what it was because I really loved Link's Awakening, even though I've only played it a couple of times all the way through. The art style, the graphics, I like the art style. I absolutely love the art style, and there's a good reason for it. The more realistic art style, the Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess, and all of that, I think that works for older Link. I think it makes sense. It is supposed to be older and a little more serious, quote unquote. So I think it works. For the games that are Kid Link, I think a more cutesy, cartoony style works better. I just think that's accurate to me. I think that it looks charming. Dragoon Knight charming is a fantastic word for it. I think that it is more interesting to look at. I think that it is a nice throwback to the older graphic style while still obviously being modernized. I won't give away the story. I'm going to try not to give away the story just in case nobody has played this game, although I imagine that everybody knows exactly what's going on with the game. But it also makes a lot of sense considering the world that you're in. I won't say anything more than that, but it makes sense that it stands in contrast to the more realistic style of game. Heckin' Random, what's going on? What is the Silver Lining? The Silver Lining is our weekly geekly talk show where we discuss any of the topics that may have come up during the week. It is we do it every Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. So we are right smack dab in the middle of the episode right now. And we were just talking about the Link's Awakening announcement on the Nintendo Direct. And that's I think that it's perfect. It stands in perfect contrast to the realistic art styles of things like Twilight Princess and even Skyward Sword. I think even Breath of the Wild. I think it stands in perfect contrast to those. So again, I won't say anything about the story for Link's Awakening, which at this point you probably already know it, but I'm still not going to ruin it for anybody. I just disturbed. Heckin' Random, no, you did not disturb me. I'm going to tell you why you didn't disturb me. Because you, Heckin' Random, are my co-host. Along with everybody else here, my co-host is the chat. That's why I don't have an audio co-host. I don't have somebody here that I'm talking back and forth with, and then you guys are just listening. I would rather have a conversation with all of you. So what I prefer you to do is to disturb me. Talk about things that are on topic. If you did watch the Direct and you enjoyed it, what did you like? What did you not like? The twist in Link's Awakening blew my mind when I was a kid. I love that game. It really did kind of blow my mind. I also love the Oracle game. I would love to see the Oracle games get remade and put into that art style and released. I don't think the Oracle games, or is it, I guess they're Oracle games, right? Staff of Seasons or Oracle of Ages or something. I think that those games should absolutely be updated. I think that I would go berserk with happiness if, what the hell? I can't even think of the name now. It's, the other one. The best one, Minish Cap. Why the hell couldn't I think of that? I would go wild for a new Minish Cap game, for an updated graphics Minish Cap. Skyward Sword is the best game. Is the best Zelda game I've played. I mean, it's not awful. It's just there are a lot better Zelda games. I wasn't a giant fan of Twilight Princess, and I thought Twilight Princess was better than Skyward Sword. I think Skyward Sword had a lot of good, and I think it had a lot of bad. That was the only problem with it. That being said, I would still like to see an HD version of it. I would still like to see the game be re-released to give it another shot. Maybe fix some of the problems that it had. Maybe if it didn't rely so much on motion controls and you didn't have to run around with Link looking like this, I think the game right off the bat would have been better. Link's Awakening remake just isn't. It's all right if it's not exciting. That's fine. I love the diversion being Link. And that was heckin' that was Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess was the one with the wolf. Skyward Sword was the one with the birds that you fly and you gotta dive down into the holes. No, Twilight Princess was great. Even though it was, I mean, okay. So here's my problem with Twilight Princess. I played it up to a certain point and got frustrated and stopped. I wasn't losing. I just got when the mirror broke. When the mirror broke and it's like, oh, you have to collect the pieces of the mirror. I think I broke along with the mirror, and I was just like, can this guy not touch anything and have it not break? It bothered the hell out of me. So I just stopped playing it for a while, but I eventually went back to it. It was a great game, but I only played it on the Wii. I didn't play the GameCube version, which is the original version or the real version. If you guys ever seen that, the GameCube version was the one that was made, and Link is left-handed because most people are right-handed, and they wanted to use the motion controls for the Switch. When the game was made for the Wii, they flipped everything. They flipped the maps. They flipped everything. So that's why, even though he's a left-handed character, in Twilight Princess, he's right-handed. So they flipped everything over. Did you like sailing and finding all the pieces in Wind Waker? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't like when the game is way too empty and they force you to travel through that emptiness, and sailing over and over again was very empty and boring. Luckily, at some point, they gave you something that you can warp to different spots, and that very much helped. Heckin' random, I'm dumb. Nah, you're not dumb. You're just forgetting it. Yeah, Skyward Sword was the one that was only on the Wii that was sort of blah. Ocarina of Time is great too, but I'm not a Nintendo fanatic. That's good then. It's good when you're not a fanatic, but you still like something, because it shows that you're judging it by the quality, not by the fact that Nintendo made it. They just flipped the world. Like, well, what are you just holding in front of a mirror? That's the one. Yeah. There were two on the N64: Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. They were both there. Deku Pikachu, what's going on? And hello to everybody who has popped in that I haven't said hello to. I see Zeta and Ziego there, Deku Pikachu and Heckin, of course. But yeah, so that was the Direct. I thought that was a very interesting Direct. I thought it was very boring in the middle. There was definitely a lot. Where do I have it? Hold on, I got a gift for it. Hold on. There was a lot of this. Tons of that. This is I'm gonna leave this GIF because this GIF is most of the Nintendo Direct was just this. And when the Direct wasn't this, it was a little bit of that, and very much always Reggie time. Even though we didn't get any Reggie, I was a little bit sad about that. Cleaning it. No, CT, we haven't actually cleaned games in a while. I want to get back and do some of that, but we haven't actually cleaned games in a while. One of the things that that was brought up that CT did bring up, there was no 3DS. There was not a single 3DS game, not a single mention of the 3DS. I thought that was very interesting. Oh, wait, I hit Tiger by accident. Tiger, get back in your box. I thought that was very interesting, and I don't know that they're ever going to release a statement that says we're basically done with the 3DS. I don't know that that's ever going to happen, but I'm wondering if they are getting to the point where they basically are ghosting the system, and they're not going to say the 3DS is dead. They're just not going to talk about it anymore ever. Prefer the 2D. Oh wait, what about 2D games? Many praise the 2D Zelda games. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't many. I mean, more 2D. I mean 2D style. Yeah. I don't mind if they update that. I liked Link Between Worlds. I like Link's Awakening. So I don't mind that they don't stick with a 2D art style anymore. I don't think the 2D art style is necessary to continue this kind of game. I think that it's necessary for faster paced games. 3D Samus Returns on the 3DS. Yes, it's a side-scrolling Metroid game, but it's using 3D graphics. The 3D graphics still make it feel slow. I don't think that side-scrolling games, you can replace 2D with 3D and it's the same thing. It's not. It feels slower. This overhead style of game with Zelda, I think it works. I think it works very well. Somebody actually compared it to 3D dot here, the Game Heroes. It's a PS3 game which I have and have been intending to play on stream. Somebody compared it to that, and I looked at the game and I was like, yeah, I can see it. I see what you're talking about. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. The 3DS is going on 8 years. 3DS is like 8 or 9 years now, something like that. I think the problem with direction is trying to keep our expectations low, but going in our expectations skyrocket. Nah, see, that's definitely a personal issue. That's just something that needs to be corrected over time. But yeah, that is a personal issue, not Nintendo's fault. I still want to play that 3D dot Game Heroes. That's why people have problems with Bloodstained and not Curse of the Moon. Yeah, I Curse of the Moon was fantastic. Bloodstained, the 3D art style, the 3D graphics engine makes the game feel a little slow. The same thing happened with Dracula X Chronicles on the PSP. The Rondo of Blood remake felt like it moved slower, even if it didn't actually, because of the 3D graphics engine. A VR and 3D when you have to put gear is going to die. Yeah, a VR, I think VR is a fad. What I don't think they push strong enough with VR is the fact that you can put it on and just watch programs, watch TV, watch stuff like that. I think that would sell to a lot more people if first of all the price point was a little bit lower. But if I want a VR headset, not because I want to play VR games other than Robo Recall because that looks really fun. I want one so that when Beth is watching TV and she's watching a program, I can plug my Switch output into there and I can play something there. Or I can go on, she can watch Netflix and I can watch Hulu and we can still be watching the same, something different, but we're still there. Like, I think that that's more interesting to me. Do you know Tetris, 99 Tetris is on the 2005 PSP. I don't know about 99 player Tetris. Yeah, VR will die down and come back. And once the porn industry embraces VR, they'll start selling more of it. Pornhub branded VR headsets will sell like hotcakes, and nobody will know because everybody gets it shipped in a black box that is unmarked. Yeah, I want it for VR chat. Thoughts on being a customized character. That's interesting, but I would have to see it in action. Alrighty, we are going to switch topics here. For our next topic, hold on, let's see if I can do this. What's my next topic? That's probably not my next topic. Hang on a second here. No, that's not my next topic. Let me get that off of there. Get it off of there. No. Oh my God. Wait, I should probably double check before I accidentally put something naughty up there. All right. No, that's the next topic. There we go. For the next topic, Super Mario Brothers, a copy of Super Mario Brothers for the NES sold at auction, and I have the article up here just so we can get some specs on it. Sold at NES for the NES for $100,150. That A professional streamer. Yeah, I know. What? We're a tight ship here. We run a tight ship here. Yes, the ship is sinking, but it's tight all the way down. So this NES copy sold for $100,150. That is $100,150. This is not a copy of the game that you have on your shelf. That is one thing. I want to describe the copy first. I want to talk about what makes it more than a regular copy. But I think we all know that we would probably not have paid this. So what this was, when Nintendo was first coming out, not worth the price. When Nintendo was first coming out, it wasn't for charity. No, it was actually bought by 3 people together. They pooled their money together. When Nintendo was first coming out, the market was dying, was almost effectively dead. Everybody knows about the video game crash of '83, and the industry had not yet recovered from that. So Nintendo was going to release in the US. So they made a bunch of changes to the system. That's why it doesn't look like the Famicom does. It's bigger, it's bulkier. It looks a little more toy-like and a little larger. What they would do is, in order to get stores willing to carry video games, because video games were such a taboo, not taboo just because of the market crash, it was unlucrative according to them. Nintendo would go and they would set up the displays. They'd be allowed to go and they'd set up the displays, and they'd have these test market products that would come out. One of them was the way they were boxed was just a factory seal. Actually, here's the thing, Lizard. It's not factory sealed. That's the thing. A lot of these were individual units, were versions of it that were made specifically to go out to stores for early pre-sale or for demoing, things like that. And this is it's called sticker sealed. My understanding is that there is not a plastic wrapper around it. It is a sticker that keeps the top of the box closed. That's it. That's the only thing there. This is, at this point, from what everybody understands, this is the only copy of this that is in existence. The game itself was graded at a 9.4, which I have issues about game grading, but that's what you have. But it was rated at a 9.4 out of 10, which is effectively mint. The sticker itself is not only there, but it's still sealed, and the sticker is in good condition. So it is considered sticker sealed. Like I said, even in the world of video games, this is a rare thing, because this is from, I think they said it was from one of the LA demonstrations of the Nintendo. Like I said,
your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.
Raiden, thank you so much for the follow. It is not a copy of the game on the shelf. It is not a copy of the game with a box. It is not a sealed copy of the game. Heckin' Random, thank you so much for that follow. I knew I would lure you in. I knew I would lure you in with my sexy information giving. That being said, about all of that, about the rarity, was purchased by 3 people. Let's see here. Jim Halperin, founder and co-chairman of a collectibles auction company, Heritage Auctions, game collector Rich Leash, and video game store owner Zach Gieg, Gieg. So they purchased the game together. I don't know if, I mean, look, Bart Milhouse and Martin all bought a comic book together one time, Radioactive Man #1, and they were not able to make it work. So I don't know what's going to happen with this. I don't know if one of them gets it Mondays and Tuesdays, and another one gets it Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday they alternate. I don't know. Maybe they'll have some sort of shared ownership where they're effectively just driving it around to each other all throughout the week. Desync, hold on. We got some desync here. We got some desync. Hold on. We are running a tight ship here. Do we have desync? Hang on a second. We can fix that. We can fix that. You have so much knowledge. We can fix it. We can fix that. Wait, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Fix that. Okay, if there wasn't any desync, we got rid of it. Seem fine. Okay. I seem fine to me too. A professional streamer, absolutely. All that being said about the rarity, I'm having trouble justifying a 6-figure price tag on even with that rarity on a single video game. If you were to tell me that it was one of those demo units, like the video game system itself with a copy of the game, I might be a little bit more inclined to agree with that kind of pricing. I mean, Super Mario Brothers, I've been playing video games since Atari 2600, and Super Mario Brothers was one of the first times my mind was very much blown. I was very impressed and amazed at the game, but my mind wasn't quite blown. The first time my mind was blown on a video game was actually Link to the Past. But even for the importance that the Super Mario Brothers game has to the video game industry as a whole, everybody owes, at least in the U.S., we owe our video game lives to Nintendo in a way. It can be argued that we owe our lives to Nintendo. Even with all of that, I'm having trouble at the idea of spending 6 figures on that one copy of that one game. Especially since, for me, I would probably just open it and play it. Way too professional for your blood. Go back to the days. Oh my god! When I was using my phone as my camera, or when I was using my my laptop camera, which I can't even do now. Robot operating buddy. Beep boop. Hey, Anthem Hero. Oh, why all the bad language right there? Did you beep boop yourself out because you were cursing? Was that harsh language? Seems way too expensive for a common game that just happens to be sealed in a unique way. Like, and that's the thing. Being sealed in a unique way means that it is a unique copy of the game. But I just don't care enough. Like, and I have an issue with sealed games in general. I think sealed games are an interesting novelty, but here's my argument with sealed games, with people who love sealed games and the concept of them. There's this idea that that games are collectibles and they don't need to be played. If I bought a Lamborghini, what the hell was the one, the rare one, the Countach one, the one from the 80s? Everybody knows the Lamborghini I'm talking about. And I said, dude, I got a Lamborghini. I got money. My tax return came in. I bought a Lamborghini. And someone said, oh my God, let's see your Lamborghini. Oh my God. And I brought you home. So I brought you back to my house. And my Lamborghini was in pieces on display in my living room. Would you still say that I have a Lamborghini? Or would the first thing out of your mouth be, why the hell isn't it in pieces and you can't drive it? It's not the same if you can't use it the way it was intended to be used, to me. If you have a sealed copy of a video game, yes, there are thousands and millions of copies of that game. You can play it anywhere. The fact that that copy of the game hasn't been played doesn't mean that much to me. It just really doesn't. Like, all it means is that you are stopping it from being able to do the thing that it does best, which is be a video game. Hello from Ukraine. Hello from America. Welcome from the Ukraine. Igor Lynch. It's better than being a Matchbox Cars. are you a console player or do you play PC too? I typically do not PC game. I don't like the idea of having to be tethered to my desk in order to play a game. I have played some PC games. I spent a few years playing World of Warcraft, and there are a few games here and there that I have played, but I'm typically a console player because I like to be comfortable on my couch or my armchair. I don't have a setup that allows me to play PC games on my couch, and I do prefer to kick back and relax playing a game, and I don't like having to be tethered to my computer to do it. There's a service for the Nintendo, not to mention NES, SNES. Yeah, I there's plenty of ways to play those. Favorite console. Favorite console is always a tough one because that's like it's hard to say what my. I'll tell you what, Hecken. Stick around because we're gonna talk about one more topic and then we do viewer topics. So I will answer that question during the viewer topics portion. Right now. Yeah, stick around for a second and we're gonna do that. We got like half an hour left. This next topic is gonna be super fast, so I don't know that I have much to say on this next topic. Not that. There we go. So they're talking about adding a there we go. They're talking about adding a 10% 2600 all the way. They're talking about adding a 10% tax to violent video games. The sin tax is what they're calling it. Let's start with my most annoyed point about all of this. Why do they have to be lawmakers from Pennsylvania? Can my state stop doing this for a day? Please stop saying Pennsylvania when you talk about these things. Yeah, it is in America. It's not so much America as it is Pennsylvania, which is in itself an entirely different world. Yeah, a 10% tax on violent video games. Here is my problem, beyond the fact that it's Pennsylvania, because it always friggin' is. What constitutes a violent video game? Because some games might have a mature rating that are not violent. They could have a mature rating because they have sexual content. That if you've ever played the game House Party, I would recommend being 18 or over if you look it up. Leisure Suit Larry. Leisure Suit Larry is a mature rated game. Mario kills many mushrooms. My problem would be that Mario takes many mushrooms. What constitutes a violent game? Are they going to go by the what is it? ESRB? Are they going to go by? Are they going to judge every game individually? Is it games with just blood? Is it games without guns? Like, what are they going to use to justify this? What are they going to use to measure a violent video game? A video game with cartoon characters hitting each other on the head with hammers can be considered violence. Anything that involves one character doing anything aggressive to another character can be considered violent. So what is going to be the scale for this? I mean, let's be honest here. The whole issue is ridiculous overall. Would Madden count since you can give athletes concussions? I don't know if they added the concussion DLC yet, but sports can be considered ultra aggressive. Sports are ultra aggressive, especially sports like football. Sex is also a sin. See, and that's where they get you. That's where, if they call it a sin tax. Well, okay, actually, I'm gonna touch on something here. I'm gonna touch on something, and I'm gonna touch it, and then I'm gonna run, because I'm not gonna linger on this, because I don't linger on this at all. Using the word sin has a religious connotation to it, and that is something that also needs to be addressed in the origins of this tax. Oh, wait. Anthem Hero, we are right there in sync with what we were thinking about. Yeah, I have a problem with the fact that if they're literally calling it this. I heard people say sin tax and thought that was just a funny thing that people were making it up. That no, these articles that I'm reading is that they're trying to call it the sin tax. Using the word sin has a religious connotation to it, and I think that needs to be addressed. And I think that again, we're mentioning it and we're gonna run because we're not gonna try and pick that one apart. But it does really need to be commented on and addressed in that situation. It's almost as silly as Article 13. Yeah, the Article 13 stuff, I need to look into it a little bit more. But the early stuff that I was reading on it was like, what? Come on. It's all very V for Vendetta. No, but yeah, then we could talk. Yeah, Sean, you're not wrong. Yeah, I don't know. I saw that and I knew that, even though I knew that we probably weren't going to talk about it very much, I knew that I wanted to at least mention it. I thought that it was kind of ridiculous. I still don't think that there are. Okay, if you came up with some some legit studies that said that, wait, are we talking about syntax or not? SINTAX. I'm sorry, SIN space TAX. It literally is the word sin and the word tax. But they call it that because it's clever. Are we talking about Semtech? I don't think we're talking about that either. If you get me a report, several reports, I'm going to need several reports on this one, that tells me that video games are responsible for higher aggression levels more than anything else, I will start to listen to your arguments, because my understanding is that there have been some reports, some studies that have been shown that video games can be traced to higher levels of aggression, but no more than kids who play sports, kids who listen to certain kinds of music, kids who don't do much of that stuff, but just watch violent movies or TV shows, or how about kids that have crappy lives and they're just pissed off all the time. There's nothing out there to support that video games raise any kind of aggression level more than anything else. You know what raises aggression levels more than anything else? Having to worry about your bills, and kids who have to watch their families not be able to support them and have to go to sleep hungry. Those are the kinds of things that raise aggression levels. Kids become criminals not because they saw it in a video game, but because they want things that they either want or need. You will never. I don't ever want anybody to rob anybody or burglarize any business or anything like that. But when you tell me that a man broke into a store to steal some food because he was hungry, I have a little bit less I have a little more sympathy for that. So you're not going to get to a point where I'm going to listen to your arguments of video games cause violence when there are still plenty of other strong social issues out there that make kids aggressive. And again, not even involved in the media. I'm talking about problems at home, problems with society, things like that. Those things make people much angrier than any video game ever would. And quite frankly, if you play a video game and you take your cues for violence from that video game, something else is going on in your life well before you picked up a controller. So why don't you start dealing with that instead of blaming something further down the line and saying, when someone goes out there and commits a violent crime with a gun, we're already at a point where we blame we blame different areas along the way. What happens when we're going to get to the point where we're blaming bullet makers We're not blaming the people. We're not blaming the issues that caused the person to get to that point. What happens when we get all the way down the line and we're blaming the people who make the sites for the guns, because if they didn't make their sites so well, people might actually miss. It's going to get ridiculous. And that's sort of this is obviously not as ridiculous as that, but we're getting to the point where you're losing focus. You're looking for blame. It's understandable to look for blame. It's understandable for a crisis to be happening in our society, and that it is what it is. Is violence and aggression is a crisis that is going on in our society, and it has been going on for a while. And it's understandable to want to fix that so badly that you want to believe that there's a quick fix to it. And that's why people focus on things like this. You want there to be one easy fix because you want to fix the problem, but you need to want to work at fixing the problem. There is not one quick fix to this. Taxing video games isn't going to change anything. Absolutely zero things will change from putting a 10% tax on video games. That's just the reality. That's a hard reality, but if you want things to help, you need to start helping along the way. You need to start helping well before the kids pick up a video game, well before they leave the house. It's just reality. Sorry, I went on my little ranty sort of discussion there. So we're going to go back here. I get angry at computer games myself. I've only killed my computer. Social media is more of an issue than video games. I have a theory on this. Society rhymes with idiocy. That's an accurate thing, actually. Anthem Hero. Government likes to use video games as a common scapegoat. Yeah, they've been using video games as a scapegoat for a while. Yeah, no one's scapegoating fights that happen after basketball games or anything. If I had a friend in middle school, who stole a pair of shoes because all his shoes were destroyed and his dad was ex-military. He didn't get that idea from a video game. He got that idea because he needed shoes. That's what happened there. University did a study. People like playing GTA games were put into an immersive experience, and the world reacted the way it would in reality. Okay. Many of them sick to their stomach. And of course, one of the reasons you play video games and you play those violent video games in those crazy settings is because you don't want to see that in real life. No one who plays GTA literally seriously walks around and says, "Man, I wish this was like GTA." No one wants to get shot at and attacked at random. No, that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. There's a joke where if people who play Call of Duty were ever in real war, they would all be hiding behind each other. Oh, yes, absolutely. Of course. You know why? Because real war is terrible. There are actually people trying to kill you. You only get one life. And if you get wounded, it hurts. And in the end of it all, you're probably not even sure why you're there. Nobody actually wants those things to happen. I play Animal Crossing. I don't want to give a raccoon all my money for mortgage. No. Although I do like the idea of farming for bugs to pay off my no-interest home loan. Yeah, it does sound kind of good. All right, so maybe some video games stuff might work. No, video games are scapegoats. The scapegoats from Yu-Gi-Oh are tokens. They are token animals. No, the only true scapegoat in Yu-Gi-Oh is Cyber Dragon, because that changed the whole game. Let's play to win. We play video games to escape the real world. Even if we are playing realistic looking games, even if we're playing Call of Duty and Battlefield, we are playing video games to escape the real world. We don't want to bring the video game into the real world. Not in that way. Absolutely not. Bugs are the new currency. Yeah, fishing for money as well. All right. Let's get that picture off of there. I have to really get a new picture. Heckin' random. I want to be invincible. No, you know what I want heckin' random? A 5-minute enrage timer. There you go. That's my video game power that I'd love to bring into real life. You get to piss me off for 5 minutes, but then after that I go berserk and you can't stop me. But not in a violent way. I just want you to like be annoyed. All right. So this is this is the viewer topics portion. So if you guys have any questions, we got about 15-20 minutes here. So if you have any questions that you want to ask, topics that you wanted to bring up, discuss, any comments about anything that came up. I know Heckin' Random, what did you say? My favorite console. I think my post got burned. What did you say, CT? Ever thought of getting a GoPro and doing a nature walk in Philadelphia to a park or Wawa for some green space and fresh air? I have considered doing that with my phone, actually. It just burns up a lot of data. Heckin' Random asked my favorite console. My favorite console is probably the John Poncho. We talked about the Nintendo Direct for the first hour. My favorite console is probably the the PC Engine. Actually, I have it. It doesn't have the thing on it. It is the PC Engine briefcase, which is it's a Japanese unit it's an interface unit. You put a PC Engine or core graphics on one side, and then you put the CD drive on the other side. So it plays, PC Engine, which is the Japanese TurboGrafx, and then the system, and then the CD, all the CD games. And then you use the upgrade cards, and then it will play a higher quality games. That's my favorite console. But I'm being facetious, I think is the word, because the console with my favorite games on it, the console with my favorite games on it is probably the Super Nintendo. I think that would be my Super Nintendo. I think that there were tons of great games on there. I think that graphically it was fantastic. I am a classic person, so I very much enjoy the games that are on there. To this day, I still love playing them. That is a close call, though, because I love NES. I love NES. I love tons of Saturn games. PS1, PS1 is one of those systems that I have fond memories of, and then every once in a while I look at my collection and didn't realize how many games I really liked on that system. Yeah, but I would probably have to say the Super Nintendo. There are not a whole lot of Super Nintendo games that I have played that I have no interest in ever trying again. Just got a wall scroll. I hope the wall scroll has something cool on it. Jump Force wall scroll. Yeah, Lizard, it's a Jump Force wall scroll. It is more animated than the game itself. Vagrant Story streams when? Sean, how about this? How about after I get a new computer that can run something a little fancier? Although I'm having a problem with my computer because now I need to buy an upscaler because since I switched to a computer monitor, it does not play 480i games. I need to figure out a way to play 480i games or purchase an upscaler. Can you dance? I am a horrible dancer. That being said, I like to do it when no one's around, but I am a horrible dancer. I do have some good dancing though. Hold on, I got some good dancing here. Hold on. We got Chris Farley dancing, Mega Man dancing. We even got Johnny dancing. Dude, we got Johnny dancing here. But yes, I am a horrible dancer. Yeah, we'll get there when you get there. Just Sean, but I actually do want to do it. Hey, buddy. Heckin' Random, are you leaving? Greg dances in the shower. No, I don't dance in the shower. I might slip and fall. Cue the Billy Idol. On the floors of Tokyo, oh, down in London town's a go-go. Oh, what a record selection and a mirror's reflection. I'm a dancing with myself. Oh. Sagers. And I dance with Sagers. And I dance with you, buddy. Oh yeah. My ears, your ears are being pleasured. I can tell you that. Here, I'll tell you what. Why don't we soothe your ears with some nice bassy, just talking about stuff, nice and bassy, and then and while we're nice and bassy and we're really close to the mic, we'll say everybody's favorite word when I do this: moist. Why aren't Castlevania Chronicles songs in Smash? I don't know. Yu-Gi-Oh stream went when Ace Fox, when they make a Yu-Gi-Oh game that's all GOAT format. Wait, let me get my headphones. You just have to watch the VOD, Chip. I will sue. Mark my words. Why is Mark here? Another Twitch streamer when you said moist. Everybody loves that word. I think moist might be everyone's favorite word next to obliterate. That's one of my favorite words. Probability for Sans, Undertale, and Smash. I don't know. I don't see it high, but I don't rule it out. We've had the talk before about Smash Brothers, and after you put a potted plant into the game, you got a potted plant into the game. You got a character from Persona 5. No, at this point nobody can tell what's going to happen. I still think Master Chief is going to be in the game. I still think Master Chief is going to make it to Smash Brothers. And I'm starting to think that the 5th character for this Smash DLC is going to be Waluigi. Real Sam Norton, what's going on? GOAT format. GOAT format is I know it as GOAT format. I don't know if there's another name for it. GOAT format is you're not allowed to use cards from Cybernetic Revolution, from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series Cybernetic Revolution, or after. You can't use anything that is exclusive to that series or after. For Yu-Gi-Oh! When Cybernetic Revolution came out, they released a card called Cyber Dragon, which, like, you put it down and you can immediately put down another card, another monster, or you can use it to tribute. It kind of changed the whole dynamic of the game, and ever since then, with Link monsters and Pendulum monsters and all of that stuff, ever since then, the game hasn't really been the same. It's been more about getting a bunch of monsters out onto the field and causing these big attacks, as opposed to a more slowly drawn out game. It's not as interesting to me anymore. So that was immediately where I lost interest. But it's called GOAT format, and that's what you have to do. You have to play with cards that were, I think, Ancient Sanctuary and before. Because I think it was Ancient Sanctuary and then Cybernetic Revolution, and then I have no idea what the hell happened. I want Isaac from Golden Sun. Master Chief before Banjo? Probably not, but I'm still holding out for hope. And that's another one of those things that, like we talked about earlier, I'm holding out hope for Master Chief and Smash Brothers, but I am not expecting it at all. Cuphead and Smash Music? I think Cuphead would be a very interesting addition to Smash Brothers. For shame. Elemental Heroes was as complicated as Yu-Gi-Oh! Should have gotten, in my opinion. Pendulum Zones are where pendulums go. Can we please get the X costume back from Megun? Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Can we just get Jet Force Gemini characters? Diego, can we just get a Jet Force Gemini remake? I wouldn't mind seeing that. Hell, I wouldn't mind seeing it just brought back. But I would love to see a remake of that. How's the weather in eastern Pennsylvania? It's actually very nice today. It was like 55, 60 degrees. It was kind of sunny. I mean, the sun's always out, But, sometimes, and I love when a lot of people, like on a cloudy day, and people complain about the weather. And one of my favorite lines is, what? It's a beautiful day out. The sun is shining. Just because the clouds are in the way doesn't mean that the sun isn't there. You think Sonic will ever be good again? I think Sonic 2D is fine. I think Mania is a great game, and I think that it was so well received that the next Sonic 2D game will be a sort of follow-up to that. Will Sonic 3D ever be any good? I don't think it's impossible. At this point, I just think it's improbable. I say one of the DLC characters will be Sub-Zero or Scorpion. Buckeye, I am starting to slowly get this idea of Mortal Kombat getting some sort of inclusion in Smash Brothers. How's it sunny there? But it's 25 degrees here. Not totally sunny. It's still very cloudy also. Despite what you've seen on that TV show, it's not always sunny in Philadelphia. Or about, because I'm not actually in Philadelphia. I'm outside the city. Long Cat. I love Long Cat. Is it the Long Cat? Oh my God, Mikey from Star Tropics, Mike Jones from Star Tropics. I'd be all over. I know Ant Dude would be crazy for it. A little Star Tropics representation wouldn't be bad. All right. I think that's actually going to do it for today. Thank you everybody so much for stopping in on this episode where we actually had things to talk about. I usually come up with a few topics like 10 minutes before out of a pool of none, and we usually figure out what to talk about, but we actually had some good stuff to talk about this week, and I'm glad for that. I very much appreciate everybody stopping in. I very much appreciate the follows and all of the love and talking in the chat, because that's, like I said before, you are my co-host. So this would be probably very stale and boring without you here to help me out. Before we go, the usual business. If you are new to the stream here, we stream 4 days a week, this show here, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Those are gameplay streams. We've been playing, as of this date, we've been playing Golf Story. I'm probably going to start peppering in more Tetris 99 because, damn, that game is awesome. If you have a Switch and you've got space on your Switch, go download it and give it a try because it's amazing. If you are watching this right now here on Twitch, check the links down below to follow me over on YouTube, where I upload these episodes, and Twitter. If I'm going to do any changes to the show, I'll upload it there, as far as times are going to change, updates on what we're going to be streaming. And we also just post a lot of fun stuff on Twitter. I like Twitter. I like it better than Facebook. If you are watching this on YouTube, also check the links down below. Follow me on Twitter and follow me over on Twitch, where you can stop in Friday 3 to 5 and be part of the conversation, because I definitely want all of you to be hanging around here. Thank you again. Have an amazing weekend, whatever is coming up as you were watching the end of this. I have to finally remember to get that ready to go. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Play lots of fun games, and I will see you all next week.